There's a lot of Batman porn, though.
What's up, everyone? My name is Thomas.
I'm Wesley.
And welcome to episode number 2 of Bargain Blockbusters. As you saw in the last video, we went on a little bit of a Blu-ray hunting and kind of splurged a little bit, I'd say.
We treated ourselves.
We treated ourselves well. Yes, very well. And he got more bargain stuff than I did. And so we decided, So if you watched to the end of that video, if you didn't see it, go check it out. Just posted it yesterday. At the end of the video, we decided we would review Boogie Nights.
Yes, we did.
And so that's what we're doing today. We're going to find out if Boogie Nights is worth the, what was it, $5?
$5.
The $5 price tag that was on it.
Boogie Nights is about a young boy named Eddie Adams, played by Mark Wahlberg. And he's kind of down on his luck. He's working as a bus boy. Has a stroke of luck when he meets a character named Jack, I can't remember his last name, played by Burt Reynolds, who happens to be a pornographer. And he directs pornographic films. And he sees Eddie as a potential actor in one of his films, and so he takes him in under his wing and he teaches him the ins and outs of the adult industry. And Eddie Adams takes on the name Dirk Diggler because he's leaving his old life behind. He doesn't like his home life, and it just goes from there. He pretty much grows a family throughout his way with characters played by Heather Graham, Julianne Moore, John C. Reilly, and it just shows how his life goes. And I'm not going to go any further than that because I might spoil anything.
Yeah. There definitely seemed to be a big thing about this film is that it focused a lot on the theme of family. And, maybe you get put in like a bad home situation, but you can always, you can usually find people that will help you, like that will be your family. So a lot of people praise the movie for its writing and it's the way they write, or the way that the family aspect was written into the film. However, I think at times writing can be one of the weakest points.
It could have been done better.
It could have been done a lot better.
I love the film, don't get me wrong, but
yeah, you gave it what, a 7?
I gave it a 7 because I loved it, and I would definitely watch it again because it's very entertaining. But there could have been
Did you say it was like your top 20 in your top 20?
Yeah, because it was a fun movie to watch.
I gave it a 6 or 7. I'm kind of going back and forth in between it. I'm leaning towards 7 though. It was a very well put together movie. It was very entertaining, but I feel like some of the writing in this movie actually took me out of the movie a good bit.
Not necessarily subpar, but it could have been done better.
At points it was subpar. Just compared to the quality of the rest of the film, there are certain scenes in this film that are just not that good. One in particular, I'm going to try to go into it like a little bit without spoiling it. If you've seen the movie, you know the donut shop scene? I hate that scene. It's very lazily written, in my opinion.
Plot convenience.
It's very convenient the way that it happened, and it's just kind of dumb. And I think the main character in that situation doesn't make what a decision most characters would make. I feel like it's kind of, I feel like it's just a little bit. It's a little bit forced.
In retrospect, I think it might be a study on just human nature in general, but that's a totally different.
That's a totally different video.
Like that's a different speech from me.
I feel like I actually do feel like a lot of several things, not a lot, a few things in this movie were kind of forced. They were kind of they were not developed quite well enough before the event happened, and so it just kind of felt forced. And all of a sudden, at the beginning, I don't think this is really giving anything away. Mark Wahlberg or Eddie. Has a fight with his mom because he's 17 in this movie, and so he has a fight with his mom that ends up him leaving home and getting into everything. I felt like this scene in the movie is not that well acted. I feel like the acting could have been better.
I think the acting got gradually better as the film went on. In the beginning, Mark Wahlberg wasn't the best actor, but as it went on, he really improved. Like from the beginning from the start to finish of the film.
I feel like the acting in the scene definitely could have been better. But I feel like they were trying to show the mom character as an alcoholic. I feel like they didn't develop this well enough, so she just came across as an unlikable character with no good traits about her, which I feel like they should have spent maybe a little bit more time developing that.
If memory
just a tad,
if memory serves, that's the only time the mom was ever introduced, or that's the first time the mother was introduced.
That was second time.
Second.
It was kind of just forced in there, and it it really just seemed out of place and just kind of weird because you had no clue about what their relationship was, and it just kind of like all at once, this is their relationship. Yeah, it just kind of felt like forced.
You can infer a lot, but sometimes inferences in a movie can be make or break.
Well, it's not even inferring here. It's just being forced down your throat, I feel like. There's a few other scenes I feel like this. And this is really where my main complaint comes with the movie. People praise this movie for its writing and say it's like incredibly well written and all of this and that. I feel like there are some scenes that just hold it back from being incredible. Right. Some people call this film a masterpiece. I personally don't see this as a masterpiece, just due to its... I have a list here up on my screen of like several flaws I have with the movie and several gripes and complaints I have with the film. And for me, that just kind of keeps it back from being, extraordinary on the next level. It keeps it from, it keeps it at a 6 or 7 instead of like a, 8, 9, 10 maybe. But aside from that, this movie's very good.
Yeah, those are the negatives. Other than that, like I said, as the film goes on,
the acting does get better.
The acting gets a lot better. If you've seen the movie, the scene in the drug dealer's house is probably my favorite scene in the film.
I think that's the best scene in the film.
Yeah, because the tension is so... When I was watching it, I don't really get tense when I'm watching films, but that scene actually had me really I wonder what's going to happen. Because the cinematography, like I said in this film, is great because it shows you every little thing, doesn't make you infer it, but it lets you know it's there. It's almost like Hitchcock's bomb under the dinner table theory, if you're familiar with that.
And even though it had a character that wasn't really developed well, which is also, I forgot to mention this, there's several characters that the movie tries to make us care about that aren't really developed well, like
William H. Macy's character.
Yeah, like his character, I feel like was meant to be just a joke, and then his fate... The way the movie presented his fate made it seem like we were supposed to be very empathetic and it was supposed to be very serious when he was never treated seriously.
Yeah, he was never treated, but it didn't give him enough screen time for you to grow, for him to grow on you, really.
Yeah, so that plot point was a little kind of missed. But other than that, it was pretty good. Like, even though the character, like I was saying, even though that character in that scene wasn't that incredibly well developed, I still felt very tense for your two main characters.
Right. It's actually, it was two and then their friend. So
yeah. I mean, two main characters. Like
two main characters. Yeah.
But overall, I think the film was quite entertaining. I think he kind of sold it to me incorrectly.
Yeah, I do that a lot.
He sold it to me as a Wolf of Wall Street-esque film, which in a sense, I can kind of see where you're coming from with that. However, I was going in thinking of like a biopic of Eddie Adams or Dirk
Diggler.
Yeah, Dirk Diggler. When that's not really what it is. That's not what it is at all. That's not what it's supposed to be.
Whereas Wolf of Wall Street mainly focused on the life of Jordan Belfort.
Yeah, this kind of focuses on more than one character.
It sets Eddie as the main point, but his friends surrounding him are also like sub-main, if that makes any sense.
They're supporting characters. There's several supporting
actors and actresses.
And they have backstories that get fairly well developed, especially
Julianne Moore.
Yes, especially Julianne Moore's character, Amber Waves. Her character was, I think she was one of the best characters in the movie.
Yes,
I think she was the standout. I think she was the standout role.
Julianne Moore was incredible in this movie.
Oh yes,
from the first moment she got on to the very last scene.
I think she was definitely the standout. Her character arc was incredible.
Not only that, but the acting that she did. The only time she acted bad was on purpose.
Yeah.
And if you've seen the movie, you might know what I'm talking about.
I feel like, honestly, the movie could have been based around her more than Dirk Diggler, and it would have been a better movie. It would have been a better movie, in my opinion. Because I feel like we could have gotten more of her backstory and more of her. And sure, it may not have been as long as it is, but I think it still would have made...
It's still been great.
I think if it was a spinoff, then... Oh, yeah.
I'd like to see a spinoff.
I'd love to see her own solo thing. Well, we kind of know what happens, but...
Yeah.
Anyway, but... I don't know. She was the standout character in this film, in my opinion. Yeah, what else do you have to say about it? The cinematography was very good. Mm-hmm. I think there were some shots that really conveyed a lot about the characters, especially at the diner scene. As Paul Thomas Anderson was the director, he would add empty space around a character, particularly Dirk Dickerson or Eric at this point. Eddie at this point, and then Julianne Moore, Amber. He added like a void, almost to symbolize their void. as characters. I don't know. He did some very interesting things with cinematography. He's a very competent director, definitely.
Yes. Yeah.
Very competent. He's very
For this
good.
being his first or second film.
I think this was the second film, if I'm not mistaken. I might be wrong about that, but I think it was the second film.
I could have sworn it was his first.
I'm not sure.
But yeah, we pretty much covered our bases. The soundtrack of this movie was great.
Oh yeah, the soundtrack was very good.
I love the soundtrack.
Yeah, 70s disco, a little bit of 80s too.
It was made in,
end.
when is it, 97, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was 97, 95, something like that.
It was made in the 90s, but it looked like it was made in the 70s. Like, it really pulled it off. Not a lot of films can do that.
Oh yeah.
But hats off to Paul Thomas Anderson.
I was very.
You're convinced.
It was very immersive, yeah.
Right.
You definitely felt like a 70s movie.
Yeah.
It felt like it took place in the 70s, and then when it moved into the 80s, it felt like it was like filmed over these
filmed
years.
through. Yeah.
Yeah, it was very
another
good.
cinematography genius move by Paul Thomas Anderson.
Yeah, he did a very good job of captivating the feel and the vibe of the 70s and 80s, late 70s, early 80s. I think he did an amazing job at that.
All in all, it was a great film.
Mm-hmm.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. You liked it.
I enjoyed it. I'll watch it again just to get a different perspective while I watch it.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people call this a masterpiece. I don't believe this is a masterpiece.
I think it falls just shy of being.
I think
yeah,
with fixing some writing could have turned into a masterpiece because it was very promising, and up until like the last 40 minutes, I'd say, despite that one scene that you were talking about with the drug dealer, up until there I was thoroughly enjoying it, and then I think the writing kind of got a little bit lazy, and it made me enjoy the ending a little bit less. But overall, very good film. I'd say I enjoyed it. I gave it a. Just say 7.
I gave it a 7 as well.
Now, is it worth the $5 that he paid for it? I think definitely.
Definitely. I would pay at least $10 to $12 to watch this movie.
Yeah, I'd pay a theater ticket price to watch it once. I may end up owning it one day after a second watch. I don't know. Right now it's on Netflix, so you don't have to pay to watch it.
Yeah.
Unless you already.
Other than a monthly payment.
Yeah. But I don't know. I guess
It was worth. If you find it, definitely pick it up and check it out.
Definitely check it out if you haven't already. Boogie Nights by Paul Thomas Anderson. So, what are your thoughts on Boogie Nights? Let us know down in the comments below if you've already seen this movie. If there are any other movies that you guys would like us to review or check out or something like that, let us know down in the comments below. I know soon we will be having both of our collections out. In fact, one of ours may already be out by the time
you watch it.
Yeah, by the time this video's out. Not really sure yet, but make sure you guys let us know what you want to see. Did you guys enjoy this video? If you did, leave a like. If not, well, you know where that button is. My name is Thomas.
I'm Wesley.
Thank you guys so much for watching this. Take care.